Once upon a time, there was a king. Not a king crowned with gold or silver, but with joy, magic, and a smile that lit up the entire football world. Ronaldinho Gaúcho. For a few short years, he was football, the face of the game, the dream of every fan, the nightmare of every defender. But kings, even the brightest ones, can fall. And Ronaldinho's story is not just about greatness, but about how easily it can slip away. To understand Ronaldinho, you have to go back to the streets of Porto Alegre, a boy born into a humble family, in a neighborhood where football wasn't just a game, it was survival. His father, João, worked long hours at a shipyard. He loved football too, and encouraged his sons to play. But tragedy struck early. When Ronaldinho was just 8 years old, his father died from a sudden heart attack. The family was shattered, but instead of falling apart, Ronaldinho held tighter to the ball. It became his escape, his happiness, his world. Everywhere he went, he carried a ball. Neighbors recall a boy juggling barefoot for hours, smiling even when his feet bled. His older brother Roberto was already a professional at Grêmio, and young Ronaldinho watched every move. When Roberto bought the family a new home, Ronaldinho never forgot. Football had lifted them out of poverty. By the late 1990s, the streets of Brazil already knew his name. At futsal courts, he embarrassed grown men. On sandy pitches, he humiliated defenders twice his size. And then, in 1999, at just 19 years old, Ronaldinho made his professional debut for Grêmio. He was still skinny, still raw, but when the ball touched his feet, something electric happened. In 1999, against International in the Grenal derby, Ronaldinho scored one of the most audacious goals Brazilian fans had ever seen. A teenage boy, humiliating his city rivals, with samba feet and fearless joy. That day, Brazil saw the birth of a new phenomenon, and the world was watching. Clubs in Europe sent scouts. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. In 2001, Paris Saint-Germain took the risk. Ronaldinho crossed the Atlantic, carrying not just a ball, but the hope of becoming Brazil's next great star. Paris was where Europe first tasted Ronaldinho's magic, and it was unlike anything they had ever seen. He wasn't like Zidane, or Figo, or Rivaldo. Ronaldinho was different. He played football like it was samba, like music. At PSG, he scored outrageous free kicks, danced through defenders, turned games into carnivals. But Paris also saw his flaws, the nightlife, the late arrivals, the whispers that maybe he loved the party more than the pitch. And yet, whenever the ball was at his feet, those doubts disappeared. Even in training, teammates admitted they had never seen anything like him. By 2002, Ronaldinho had joined Brazil's national team for the World Cup in Japan and South Korea, and the world met his genius. Against England, in the quarterfinals, he scored that free kick, a looping strike over David Seaman. That seemed impossible, almost accidental, but it wasn't. It was the touch of a magician. Brazil went on to win the tournament. Ronaldinho was no longer a promise. He was a world champion. 2 years later, Barcelona came calling, and he was playing street football on the grandest stage, and the fans fell in love instantly. Because Ronaldinho wasn't just about winning, he was about joy, about reminding everyone why they fell in love with the game in the first place. By 2004, the world had a new king. His name was Ronaldinho Gaúcho. In just one season at Barcelona, he transformed the club, from mediocrity to magic, from a team struggling for identity to the most exciting footballing show on earth. The goals came, the trophies followed, and the fans, they came back to the Camp Nou in numbers to witness something they had never seen before. Ronaldinho didn't dominate with power or with speed. He dominated with creativity. Every touch was unexpected, every dribble a gamble, and yet, somehow, it always worked. 2004 to 2005. Ronaldinho was unstoppable. Barcelona stormed to the La Liga title, their first in 6 years. He was crowned FIFA World Player of the Year, but that was just the beginning. In 2005, he reached his absolute peak. The Champions League, La Liga, he was dazzling every week. His passes, impossible. His goals, unforgettable. And his aura, untouchable. Came November 19th, 2005. Santiago Bernabéu, El Clásico, Real Madrid, Galácticos everywhere. Zidane, Beckham, Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos. The night belonged to one man. Ronaldinho received the ball near halfway. He glided past Sergio Ramos. He slipped through Roberto Carlos. And when he finished, the Bernabeu fell silent. Minutes later, he did it again. 2 goals, 2 moments of pure genius. And then, the unthinkable happened. The Madrid fans stood up. They applauded. They bowed. A Barcelona player receiving a standing ovation at the Bernabeu. It was one of the greatest moments in football history. Not just domination, but respect. Not just victory, but artistry. Ronaldinho had transcended football. He wasn't just a player anymore. He was an artist. And every match was his canvas. In 2006, he reached the pinnacle. Barcelona won the Champions League, beating Arsenal in Paris, lifting the trophy high, and at the heart of it all was Ronaldinho, the magician, the king, the smile that ruled football. But kings are also human, and the brighter the fire, the quicker it can burn out. Ronaldinho loved football, but he loved life, maybe even more. The nightlife, the parties, the distractions. By 2007, his fitness dropped. His smile was still there, but his magic faded. Barcelona grew frustrated. A new coach arrived, Pep Guardiola, and Pep made a decision to build around a new star, a teenager called Lionel Messi. The Ronaldinho era was over. In 2008, Ronaldinho left Barcelona, and with that, the king's crown slipped away. Ronaldinho moved to AC Milan. At times, the magic returned. A dazzling assist, a breathtaking dribble. But it was never the same. He returned to Brazil, Flamengo, Atlético Mineiro. He won the Copa Libertadores, gave joy to the fans again, but the king was no longer feared. Then came Mexico, Querétaro, and finally, retirement. But even after football, his life unraveled. Legal troubles, financial issues, and in 2020, prison in Paraguay. The world was stunned. Ronaldinho, the magician, behind bars, the king had truly fallen. But even kings who fall leave behind a legacy. Ronaldinho was joy. He was freedom. He reminded the world that football is not just about winning, but about smiling. Messi himself said, Ronaldinho welcomed him to Barcelona, guided him, made him feel at home. Countless stars, countless kids, still say Ronaldinho was their inspiration. He may not be remembered for longevity, for discipline, or for endless trophies, but he will always be remembered for the magic. The king may have been forgotten by history's cold numbers, but in the hearts of football fans, Ronaldinho will never be forgotten. The king who ruled with joy, the king with the smile.